was going on for you? What were there fears as you're seeing people dying around you? Like, it could be me. How do you work through this to stay focused on what's going on, especially when you're seeing one of your buddies dying or injured?
I got done with basic training in July of 2003. Got to my first unit, and September of 2003, we were in Iraq. So it was like fast paced. We got there, did mind processing, and they're like, "Yep, we're going to, war. Like we're going to cast the tail end of the Iraq invasion." So there was no time to process it or any of that stuff. But I was like, you know what, this is what I signed up for. I knew like this was going to be a strong possibility just because I signed up while war was going on. I didn't really know what war was. I don't think any of us do until we get there, because you see the movies and you see the video games and you see all that other stuff. But it's nothing like that. And I think that saved me a little bit, because when I got there, like I was expecting like the Hollywood effect, right? With bombs going off all around you, bullets, and like that's what I was expecting. But it wasn't like that at all. It was like I was back at Fort Ryan, Kansas, only I was going on solid wire and I was looking for these bombs, right? So the first couple of months there was good. I was with my buddies, it was hot, we were going out there and doing what we were trained to do. And then it got real whenever IEDs started going off and you started seeing, the dudes getting blown up, limbs all over the place. And then it hits you like, holy crap, like dudes are, like my buddy I was just hanging out with yesterday, like he's dead, like he's not, I'm not going to see him again tomorrow, right? So then that starts to set in. But as soldiers, at least in my case, I had to make myself understand that, hey, I still got guys to my left and to my right that are still living. And until something happens and they're gone, like I need to keep putting my best foot forward, and I need to keep doing my job so they have a chance of getting back home. And I think we all had that same mindset within the platoon. It was do our job, breathe when we get a chance to, but we need to, stay focused or else more guys are going to die. And that's how it was for 12 months, right? Because the military is really good at, like they'll give you like 5 to 6 hours to grieve. And then it's like, hey man, we still got a war fight, so we do a really good job at putting it in the back of our minds and then dealing with it whenever we get a chance to. A lot of us don't really get a chance to, though, and that's what leads to the suicide and the drinking and the substance abuse. But to answer your question, while I was down there, as I was witnessing all these horrible acts at the age of 19, it was, yep, I'm just going to lock that up and then keep doing my job. Lock it up, keep doing my job. And it was like that for about, 17, 18 years. And then it's like, oh, it's time to get out. I should probably do something about all these things that I have locked up in the back of my head. And that's what prompted me to start getting the help that I needed, right? I got some help after the Iraq trip, and that kind of fixed what happened there. But then, of course, I went to a special operation and just kept witnessing horrific acts and so on and so forth. But it's part of the job, and it's part of what you sign for when you join the military. And it's something that I tell kids nowadays whenever I get a chance to speak with them on a mentorship call. Like I want them to understand that, yes, I'm proud of you for doing this, but you need to see the holistic picture. It's not all about, getting all the cool guy gear and growing the beard and the hair. Like you got to understand, like you're going to see some horrific stuff and you have to be ready to deal with it, right? Yeah, the title of, Special Forces Operator or Navy SEAL or a combat controller, yeah, that's cool and all, but that's like, it's 95% horrible stuff and like 5% like sexiness, if that, right? Because when I was deployed, like as a, tip of the spear type, operator, we're not around people for them to see, the big, bare chested, burly, you don't see, like people don't see us. We're in the woods, 2 to 3 days on in, looking for bad dudes. And then whenever we come back in after, 6-month deployment, people are like, oh, those are the guys that live over there. It's like, there's nothing sexy about that shit. Like, nothing whatsoever. Right. So I try to make people understand that, like, yes, like 5% of it is cool, but 95% of it, it's horrible. That's why I preach to guys, you got to know why you want to do this, because you're doing it for that 5% that everybody sees on social media and everybody thinks is cool, then you're not going to make it. But yeah, I just found a way to lock all that stuff in until I was able to unlock it once I got in front of the therapist.